The Middle East has long been a region of intense geopolitical significance, and the United States has been deeply involved there for decades. While public policies and military interventions often dominate headlines, much of the United States' influence in the region is guided by strategies that are less visible to the general public. From economic maneuvers to intelligence operations, from alliances with local actors to covert military planning, the U.S. employs a variety of tools to maintain its influence, protect interests, and shape outcomes in this strategically vital region. Today we will talk about the secret strategies of the United States and the Middle East. So, before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Historical context of U.S. involvement. U.S. involvement in the Middle East intensified during the Cold War, as the region's oil wealth and strategic location became critical in the contest with the Soviet Union. The U.S. established military alliances, signed defense agreements, and maintained a presence in countries such as Saudi Arabia and Kuwait. These initial strategies laid the groundwork for long-term influence, combining economic partnerships, military alliances, and intelligence networks. Post 9/11, the U.S. adopted new approaches emphasizing counterterrorism, regime change, and stabilization operations, as seen in Iraq and Afghanistan. However, alongside these visible strategies, the U.S. has pursued numerous quieter operations aimed at shaping political outcomes, influencing local factions, and countering rivals without always resorting to open warfare. Strategic alliances and local partnerships. One of the most consistent strategies of the United States is the cultivation of strategic alliances with local governments and actors. By forming military and political partnerships with countries like Israel, Saudi Arabia, and the Gulf Cooperation Council states, the U.S. creates leverage and ensures access to critical regional assets. These alliances extend beyond government-to-government interactions. The U.S. provides military training, intelligence support, and security assistance to local militaries and paramilitary forces. Such relationships allow the U.S. to influence regional conflicts indirectly, strengthening allied partners while minimizing the need for a constant direct military presence. Economic and energy strategies. Economic influence is a cornerstone of U.S. strategy in the Middle East. Oil and gas resources make the region crucial to global energy markets, and the U.S. has historically worked to ensure stability in supply chains. This includes negotiating trade agreements, providing financial assistance, and using sanctions as a strategic tool. Sanctions are particularly effective at influencing state behavior without direct military engagement. Countries like Iran have faced extensive U.S. sanctions designed to limit nuclear proliferation, restrict access to global finance, and pressure internal policy changes. Through economic leverage, the U.S. can shape regional dynamics quietly without deploying large forces on the ground. Intelligence and covert operations. Another pillar of U.S. strategy is intelligence collection and covert operations. Agencies such as the CIA conduct operations that include surveillance, sabotage, political influence campaigns, and support for allied non-state actors. These operations often remain classified, making them invisible to the public but highly impactful in shaping events on the ground. Covert strategies have allowed the U.S. to influence regime stability, support proxy forces, and counter-terrorist organizations while minimizing public scrutiny. From cyber operations to support for insurgent groups, intelligence-driven initiatives remain a key tool in maintaining U.S. influence in the region. Military presence and deterrence. While much of U.S. strategy is quiet or indirect, military power remains an essential element. The U.S. maintains bases in countries such as Qatar and Bahrain to project power, ensure rapid deployment capability, and deter hostile actions. Aircraft carriers, special operations units, and missile defense systems reinforce these objectives. Importantly, military presence serves both practical and psychological purposes. It reassures allies, deters adversaries, and provides flexibility for rapid intervention. Yet, these forces often operate in a way that complements covert and diplomatic strategies rather than dominating them. Counterterrorism and regional security. Counterterrorism remains a major focus of U.S. activity in the Middle East. The fight against groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda requires a mix of kinetic operations, intelligence sharing, and support for local security forces. The U.S. often works through partners rather than direct occupation, empowering local militaries and militias to take the lead while providing critical technological and logistical support. This approach allows the U.S. to neutralize threats while minimizing its footprint, maintaining influence without prolonged military entanglement. Influence through diplomacy and multilateral organizations. Diplomacy is another subtle but powerful tool in U.S. strategy. By engaging with international organizations such as the United Nations and the Arab League, the U.S. advances its objectives in ways that appear multilateral rather than unilateral. Peace talks, negotiations on nuclear issues, and mediation of conflicts often reflect U.S. strategic priorities, even when they are presented as neutral international efforts. Diplomatic influence is complemented by foreign aid, development programs, and cultural engagement, which help build goodwill and create channels for long-term influence across multiple sectors of society. Managing rival powers. The Middle East is a theater of competing powers, and part of U.S. strategy involves managing these rivalries. Iran, Russia, and increasingly China are key actors whose regional ambitions sometimes conflict with U.S. interests. The U.S. counters these influences through alliances, sanctions, intelligence operations, and selective military engagement. Managing these rivalries requires a combination of visible and invisible strategies: public condemnations, diplomatic negotiations, back-channel communications, and support for proxy actors who align with U.S. interests. This careful balancing allows the U.S. to shape outcomes without escalating conflicts uncontrollably. Proxy networks and indirect influence. The U.S. frequently uses indirect methods to project power. Proxy networks, including local militias and security forces, allow the U.S. to intervene in conflicts without committing large numbers of troops. In Iraq and Syria, for example, the U.S. has supported Kurdish forces and other local actors to counter ISIS and influence political outcomes. Indirect influence through proxies also allows the U.S. to maintain plausible deniability, avoid public backlash, and minimize long-term costs while still shaping strategic developments on the ground. Cyber operations and information warfare. Modern U.S. strategies increasingly involve cyber capabilities and information warfare. By conducting cyber operations, disrupting adversary communications, and controlling narratives, the U.S. can weaken rival powers, prevent destabilizing actions, and reinforce its allies. Media influence, both through traditional channels and social media, allows the U.S. to shape public perception, counter extremist messaging, and promote strategic objectives without direct confrontation. Long-term goals and strategic patience. Underlying all U.S. strategies in the Middle East is a commitment to long-term goals. These include maintaining energy security, preventing hostile regional powers from dominating, ensuring freedom of navigation in critical waterways, and promoting stability favorable to U.S. interests. Rather than seeking immediate victories, U.S. strategy emphasizes gradual influence, adaptability, and leveraging local dynamics. This strategic patience allows the U.S. to maintain power even amid volatile political and security conditions. Challenges and limitations. Despite its vast resources, the U.S. faces significant limitations. Regional actors like Iran or non-state groups often adapt quickly to U.S. strategies. Sanctions can have unintended consequences, and prolonged conflict can erode domestic and international support. Balancing military intervention, covert operations, diplomacy, and economic tools is complex, and missteps can lead to strategic setbacks. Nonetheless, the multifaceted approach allows the U.S. to remain influential across a wide range of scenarios. Global implications. U.S. strategies in the Middle East have profound global implications. They shape energy markets, international alliances, and security dynamics far beyond the region. The success or failure of these strategies affects global trade, the balance of power, and the stability of multiple continents. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and click the button to subscribe.